You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I have got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Tony searching for Stefan and Brady getting a crush on somebody. It's Belynda from Soap Dirt. If you're not following us, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get into it. We have got predictions for Doug 3 and Julie, for Susan and Johnny, for Brady and Sarah, for Tate and Sophia, and also for Tony and Stefan. Our very first prediction, Doug swipes the necklace for Julie, and then he splits town and leaves Salem. So, of course, you know that loan sharks kidnapped Holly and Ari because Doug 3 owes them a lot of money. He promised the thug he would give him the Horton necklace, but then Tate gave Doug 3 the money to pay the thug, which turned out to be a non-issue because Rafe chased down the guy, and now he's under arrest. Monday spoilers have Ari and Holly trying to escape, and the girls are found early this week. By Wednesday, Holly and Ari are angry and confronting Doug 3 about getting them kidnapped. On Thursday, Gwen makes a shocking discovery, and on Friday, Doug 3 and Julie say goodbye. Peyton Meyer is done at Days officially. So Doug 3 has been trying to make things right with Julie over the necklace for quite some time. Doug 3 was hoping to find it and buy it back. Leo was helping. Lots of people were looking for the necklace. And then Gwen Rizchek came back to Salem with it on her neck, and she won't give it back to Julie. So Doug 3 and Julie did have a really good relationship before she found out that Dougie stole the necklace. Julie has been bitter about the theft, and rightly so. And Doug 3 tried sneaking into Gwen's room to get the necklace, but she caught him at the door. However, this week, with Gwen making a shocking discovery, maybe Doug 3 found a way to steal it from her, whether she's still at the Salem M, which I think she is for a little while longer because there was some kind of construction going on where she couldn't move into the DiMera mansion yet. And there's a spoiler photo showing Gwen glaring at little Rachel in front of Brady this week, so maybe Gwen assumes the sneaky little kid stole her shiny baubles. In this week's promo, Doug 3 and Julie seem like they're on better terms as Doug 3 tells her goodbye on his way out of Salem. So maybe he stole the necklace from Gwen and returns it to Julie to try and make things right before Doug 3 walks out of town. Our second prediction, Susan and her psychic powers are back to help Johnny. On Thursday, spoilers tell us that EJ has a hypno session with Marlena, who is trying to get his memories back, and Johnny's trial officially kicks off. And on Friday, that's when spoilers say Susan tries to help Johnny. Susan Banks has not been back to Salem since EJ was in the hospital and then got out right after his shooting. You know, he was comatose, then he woke up, and Susan Banks brought EJ home, and then she left again. And when she was in town, Susan sensed evil when talking to Gabby. And of course, the night EJ was shot, well, we know Gabby was there with a gun with ill intentions, but she's not the one who shot EJ, and she left after overhearing Johnny and EJ arguing. That's what she told Rafe, who told Jada, who arrested Johnny. So Susan's psychic visions are usually pretty good. She would sense right away that Johnny is innocent of this crime, giving off vibes despite the argument with his dad, EJ. All she's going to sense is anger, but not murder. And Marlena is hypnotizing EJ this week to try and get back memories, but I worry Marlena might suppress EJ's memories if he remembers that Rachel shot him. But Susan might also read EJ to get to the truth of it, or if Susan runs into little Rachel at the mansion, maybe she gets a read of evil coming off Kristen's daughter. Our third prediction, Brady starts getting into some feelings for Sarah. So Brady has been Sarah's sounding board for a while now, and vice versa. They've talked when each of them have been going through a crisis, like when John Black was injured and then dying and then died, and then Sarah's been, going through a lot. Brady's been a good friend. And Friday spoilers have Sarah confiding in Brady, probably about her stress over the Victoria custody issues with Xander. And in the summer-fall promo, Sarah kisses Brady after seeing Xander kiss Gabby at the bistro. And of course, then Xander punches Brady. So our leaker told us that Sarah gets friendly with Brady, but he's making moves on Sarah. And apparently Brady is very into Sarah soon, and Rachel and Sarah actually get closer, and Brady may use that as an excuse to spend more time with Sarah. This week, when she opens up to Brady about the custody issues, it could be the start of him getting those feelings, getting a crush on Sarah. I mean, his other love interest, Ava, and then Kristen, compared to them, Sarah is a much better option. But no matter what Brady thinks or how into her he gets, Sarah's heart belongs to Xander, even though they're separated and she really dislikes him right now. She's only going to see Brady as a friend. However, Sarah does kiss Brady at the bistro, but that's only to make Xander jealous. Watch for Brady's feelings to start blossoming is my prediction for this week. Our fourth prediction, Tate spirals after Sophia's fake Chicago baby birth. So Sophia left a message last week saying she was in Chicago to meet adoptive parents. And then she spoke to Tate, said she was in labor, and she's really with Belynda plotting to cover ditching the baby at the fire station after giving birth. On Monday, spoilers have Tate still busy searching for Holly and Ari, but on Tuesday, sounds like that Tate is upset because spoilers say Brady is there to support Tate the same day that Belynda is hatching a new plan with Sophia. On Wednesday, Belynda and Sophia stun Tate and Brady, and in the fall and summer promo, Sophia tells Tate she had a baby, it was a girl, and the adoptive parents took it right after birth. And of course, Sophia's been worried Tate would change his mind and want to raise the baby, which would mess up Sophia's college and life plans. Tate's been super supportive of Sophia. He never even questioned that he was the baby's dad. He never demanded a DNA test, and fans still think that's hinky. So Tate's upset when Sophia says she gave birth and he never even got to meet the baby. Tate feels hurt. He feels slighted. Brady may demand to know how this went down, but I'm betting Belynda says it's a closed adoption. And Tate may spiral, kind of a guy's version of postpartum depression, because he'll be so upset he never got to meet his daughter, which of course we know is actually his son, and right there in Salem. So I just wonder if no matter what Sophia says, Tate won't drop this. Brady helps him search, and just Tate's really struggling with it. And if he really does start to spiral, will Sophia eventually come clean? Our fifth and final prediction, Gabby and Tony are scheming, and Tony may be looking for Stefan soon. Gabby wants Gabby Chic out from under Titan, even though lately she's getting along better with Xander. In the summer promo, Tony and Gabby plan to fight fire with arson and take back DiMera. And in the weekly promo, Gwen and Gabby are talking about Dimitri and Stefan. Wednesday, Tony makes an offer that Gabby can't refuse, and by Friday, that's when Gwen and Gabby are arguing. So Tony and Gabby are planning to get DiMera Enterprises back from Titan. They're going to use a honeypot kind of plot to pit Philip against Xander. Gabby's going to be the bait. EJ and Tony already talked about getting the family company back from those two, and they need a decent CEO that the board will support. EJ suggested Johnny, but Tony seemed unsure because of the trial. Gabby and Tony may discuss that Stefan is a better alternative because he is a DiMera. They just don't know where he's at, and he's not on trial for anything. So Tony mentioned before he could never get a hold of Stefan, who's supposedly in Alamania. Of course, they don't know Vivian kidnapped him. So could Gabby try and tear Philip and Xander further apart and weaken the merged companies while Tony goes off to search for Stefan?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.